Doing there, Jenny?
I was wondering what you're doing.
Aaron is getting his solo backpacking get up all ready to go.
Yeah, I leave him today and go back to Cleveland for a bit.
Jenny leaves me today, guys.
Sorry.
Aaron's going to go all by himself. And then, of course, Jenny reads off all the description of the Benton MacKay Trail stuff. That this is very remote, it's very rugged. We got to watch out for bears, we got to watch out for boars, we're not going to have enough water. All that doom and gloom stuff.
So, what are you doing right now?
Okay, so I'm getting my backpack all configured with all of my favorite things.
Before it's full?
Yep, before it's full, just getting everything loaded out. There's some things that are absolute must-haves for me. And hands down, this is the best piece of backpacking equipment on the face of the earth, and it is no longer available. It's the Dana Design Dry Rib. Basically sits right here as a little pouch, holds your straps together a little bit better if you want to tighten it up. It's like your purse when you're backpacking. I keep all of my important things inside of there, so that it's always readily accessible.
You know, I was thinking, I love my little fanny pack so much because I could carry Coca-Cola, a bottle of water, and it's right in my hip, so I feel like no weight whatsoever.
Yep.
So I was even wondering, like, why do backpacks not have kind of something right around the waist where you could carry the majority of the weight?
Yep. And that's exactly what this does. Anybody that's backpacked with me in the 90s knows that they have to have one of these, because our backpacks then didn't have any area to put anything into the little belts, anything like that, but that's the thing that takes care of it. Introduction to my backpack.
Let's turn because the sun is like kind of, yeah,
So I can show
that's
over
good.
here.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, so this is a original, let's call it vintage Dana Design Bridger. This is my favorite backpack ever. This one's from 1996. This is what I took in 98 when I went southbound through Virginia and met Earl Schaefer. I had taken this northbound in 96 for part of my through hike experience, which I didn't make it all the way. It was an attempt. But this is by far my favorite backpack. This thing's got over 1,000 miles on it. It's configured for my back, at least for around the turn of the century. It's got everything that I need. Of course, it's got a little bit of wear, but you know, everything is still well within working order. One of the cool things about this backpack is that when I weighed it against my other newer Mystery Ranch backpacks, this one came in at about half a pound lighter.
Go grab the other packs that were under consideration.
Okay.
Because I know you just decided to go old school. You were weighing a couple of different options, and it's cool that you can be here on top of the mountain here and make that final call.
Okay, so this is the backpack that I thought that I was going to want, and this is the Mystery Ranch Bridger 55. So
this tannish one or
this
greenish?
Tannish one, yep. So 55 is 55, what is that, cubic liters? So that's its internal capacity. And I thought this is the one that I was going to want for the entire trip.
And you bought that for the trip, really?
Of course. Not very easy to find, but I tracked one down. Absolutely love the backpack. Haven't put many miles on it, but once I started packing everything up, I figured out that I didn't need 55 liters.
Is that the one we got kind of down by Twinsburg?
Yeah, when we went, we got Jenny her backpack and other stuff.
Okay.
So, good news is that we've got it in case we need it. I hate using that line because it seems wasteful, but it's a nice new modern backpack. If I have to go to that, I've got no problem going.
Yeah, like if somehow that one starts rubbing the wrong way, you have the option to change. So we're gonna keep that one in the car. Or you want me to take it home?
Actually, you're gonna take that one home and you're gonna leave it.
Okay.
Because we're starting to get into warmer weather now. So knowing that that one was going to be a little bit too large, it just has extra capacity, so we want to slim it down as much as possible. I went and special ordered this Mystery Ranch Bridger 45. So virtually the same pack, but 10 liters less, and also about a pound less too. So I'm not usually a super weight conscious guy when it comes to backpacks, but you know, I got to go a long distance here. So there, I picked up this one, very similar to that one, just 10 liters less. Good backpack. I was planning on carrying this one today, but I'm nostalgic, I guess, and you know, I want to go with what I know works for me, especially with Jenny being gone for a couple days. Let me just go back to what I know, and then we can try these guys out later on. So that's that, and then we've got the original Bridger, and this thing even just empty feels lighter than those two. So,
And that's the one you're taking.
and that's the one that I'm taking. So we've got that. As for sleep system, I use just my standard Ridge Rest from the 90s.
And you tie it underneath, kind of?
Yep, yeah. So the other part about using my existing backpack is that I know how all the straps work, I know where everything works, it's dialed in, it meets my back, meets my shoulders, meets my waist, but I've got that extra 20 pounds right now, so I got to get rid of that. So that just clips on the outside. As for sleep system, we're actually going to be leaving this bag and taking a different one. So this is a bivy sack that I picked up. I think it's a Slumberjay.
So that's like your tent, quote unquote.
Yeah, so this is going to serve as my tent. It's got a hoop so I can keep the hood off me. It's waterproof. Bottom is very waterproof. So yeah, I can not necessarily sleep in a puddle, but I can handle some moisture. And the nice part about this is basically pull it out of the backpack, set it up, go to sleep.
So, not to be stupid, but do you put the roll inside or on the underneath it?
The bedroll?
Yeah, the bedroll. Where does it go relative to that?
That'll go on the inside of that. Inside of that.
Okay.
So originally, I purchased this 40-degree synthetic bag, knowing I was probably going to encounter some additional moisture inside of the bivy sack. I wanted something that was synthetic, but this bag's going to be a great summer bag. But sleeping out in the tent last night,
It's cold.
I was actually a little bit cold, so I want to make sure that I'm prepared for whatever's going to happen.
I saw snow in the next section. There's snow.
Okay, so that's always a possibility.
Yeah.
So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to revert back to my down bag. This is my Mountain Hardwear Stormlight. This thing goes down.
When did you buy this one?
Long time ago. But it's a great sleeping bag.
Let's look at the label again.
Oh, look, found an extra stuff sack.
Nice.
Let's leave that here. Traditional mummy bag. It's got a nice warm foot box on the bottom of it. Of course, it's used, so you end up just using duct tape to try to patch holes. Hey, it works. And when that doesn't work, a little bit of instant glue works too, super glue. But you got to be careful. And here's another hole I need to mend.
Duct tape and WD-40 gets anywhere.
Exactly. So this thing's got a nice foot box, but I can open it all the way up to keep myself aired out. It's got a good hood and cinch, so basically, you know, if I get really cold, I can just button myself up as much as possible. And the way that I'm going to be running this system is that everything goes inside of the bivy.
Even for when you're carrying it?
Even for when I'm carrying it. That way, if tonight I need to be able to just throw down the bivy and jump on inside, everything's there, ready to go. I'm not missing any parts. I'm not looking for anything. It's already configured. There it is. So now that we got that,
But you're not going to put the roll in there because that hangs nicely in the outside bottom of the bag.
yep, yeah, the roll hangs right down over here.
So that goes in the very bottom.
Yep.
Stuff you need to access throughout the day more on the top, right?
Goes on top. Usually you're going to want to put your lighter, bulkier things down at the bottom.
That's the majority of the pack, isn't it?
No.
The sleeping thing? Or you
Nope.
just got to
You just got to get the air out of it.
So you're not putting it inside a sack, you're just using the sack as its sack.
Yep.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's in.
Nice and simple.
Yep. We use that to keep that thing on open. And okay, what else do I get to show you?
Just do what you do, we're just watching.
Okay.
Now, is there a reason you didn't wait till it was totally full to put the bottom on? Is it easier at that stage?
Yep, because it actually helps it sit up.
Oh, nice.
So I moved my snugger strap over here to keep the top open. So I've got good access to the inside of the backpack. This blue sleeping bag. Oh, we want this coming back to us, Jenny? So
Okay.
your blue sleeping bag stays in Cleveland. This one comes back.
It makes me kind of want to keep it though, because I was cold even with Thane's amazing sleeping bag. We assume it's Thane's. We don't know how we got this really nice cold sub-zero sleeping bag, but it's sweet that it appeared. Millhouse worked out.
Yep.
We always thank Millhouse and all the gods. Indeed.
All benevolent gods. Okay, so this is a food bag. I use a dry bag, and I've got all my meals broken down individually. Other things of note, of course, I've got a rain fly. So whereas the backpack is somewhat waterproof, what we do is whenever we're hitting a big downpour, we'll throw a pack cover on. These ones from Mystery Ranch are really, really nice. It actually has a hood that goes and covers the backpack and comes over the top of me. So that if I'm in a condition where I don't want to put a full-blown rain jacket or anything on, I can keep the rain off my head just by using my pack cover. Very, very cool thing. And here we just stuff this in the outside pocket. And that's also where my rain gear goes.
So you're sort of a rain zone.
Yep. So nice external pockets on this thing, which are really cool. Water filter. Everybody these days are all about using these Sawyer squeezes. You know, I'm a little bit different. I'm still rolling the old school Pure. So this is a hand pump filter.
Not to be confused with the Pure Wick, folks.
Yes, not the Pure Wick for my medical peoples. So the thing that I like about the Pure is that it does have a pump on it. You know, when you think about it, the Sawyer squeeze does use a pump. It's just you putting that pressure in there to move it through. Things that I like about this is that sometimes when water's inaccessible, say you've got a stream that's underneath a bunch of big boulders and you can't get down to it, here I've got the option of dropping an intake into that area, and then I can just pump my water on up. Other things that I like about this is that instead of rolling the Smart Water 1 liters bottles like a lot of people have been using, the Pure, you got to make sure that you get all the water out of it too. Otherwise you're just carrying useless weight. So one of the things that I like about this is that I can clip this right into my hydration system and pump my water right into my backpack while it's still on my back. So ideally, if I'm in a situation where I need to grab water and go, of course, you know, I can leave the backpack on, pull out my filter, drop in the intake, pump everything up, make sure that I hydrate myself, undo it, and then I'm ready to go. So it can make things very, very quick. And sometimes, especially when it comes to water, I think that that's really important. So, of course, I bought a brand new filter for this guy. Used it a couple times at home. One of the other things that people like the Sawyer squeezes for and some of the other systems is that they're gravity systems. And to be honest with you, the majority of these pumps can all be used as a gravity system. So here I've got a Sea to Summit water bucket, ultra light, ultra little, packs away. But here I can scoop up water, I can hang that from a tree, I can put my intake into that bucket, give this thing a couple pumps, and then put my Camelback down low, and then we just use a siphon effect. So it's the same thing that everybody else is using, but you know, we've been doing this for a long time. That way I can set my water up, get that filtered, or starting to filter while I set up my tent or do anything else, start cooking dinner, and then by the time that's done, I've got a whole bunch of fresh water that's filtered and ready to go. So
Good idea.
that's the way that we roll here.
I don't quite understand what that small black thing is behind you. I know you said it, but I don't get that.
All right. So water filter goes in on the outside. Okay, so this is our food bag. So I use a dry bag. I actually bought too big a one. The girl at the backpacker shop told me to get the smaller one because that's what worked for her, but I'm a meathead, so I buy this huge thing. I think I could take a bath inside of it, so maybe we'll think about changing that out later. All right, so individual food packets. 3, 4,
So each one is a day,
and 5.
because we know that we're gone 5 days.
Yep. So each one of these packets has all of the things that I like. We've got macaroni and cheese prepackaged, already out of the box. I put instant butter powder in there.
Oh, okay.
So-
Does it include the cheese sauce?
Yes, includes the cheese sauce, includes the little powdered butter packet, Snickers bar, Power bar, bag of Skittles. I've got 2 lollipops in here. We've got oatmeal in the morning, and then Flintstone vitamins too. So each.
So that's breakfast and snack and dinner.
Yep, this is an entire day's worth of food for me. And I've
Each
got
one's the same.
and I've got 5.
No messing around.
And of course, you know, I supplement that with, you know, if I go into town and find something that I like, then, you know, we're going to take that with us too.
We were lucky we had Hawaiian pizza out here last night. I mean, it was cold by the time I got out here. But what's the name of this place again? We're in this very beautiful zone. Thank you for this fire tower, Wacheesee Fire Tower. We're maybe the only people ever up here for quite a while.
All right. So that takes care of food. And this goes at the very top of the pack.
Now, I would have thought you'd put the Camelback water in first.
Oh yeah, we're going to take care of that here first. Yeah,
Okay.
We're going to take care of that in a moment. Cook set. You saw, like this morning we made coffee off of my old Primus, which is a really, in its day and age, was pretty cool and revolutionary. It was a lot like what it is that we do now. Here I've switched over to the jet boil because all the cool kids are using them these days. It just seems like a nice way to be able to do things. So setup, it does have a variable fuel, so we can cook. Comes with a little base plate to be able to try to stabilize it. It's got push start.
It's pretty windy, so.
Okay, well, I'll worry about that. But one of the cool parts about this thing, once you pop the bottom off, is that you can mate the cooking container to the stove, and that's just inherently more safe, guys. So as long as I've got a good base on this and I can use rocks to be able to stabilize it, then we know that we got what it is that we need.
So you're putting the water and the mac and cheese and the cheese sauce in this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Cooking it all at once, or you put the water in first, then the mac and cheese?
I'm not quite sure. I still haven't been able to cook out of this, but generally the way that I'm going to do things is I'm going to put the water in, I'm going to get that up to temp, I'm going to drop my noodles in, I'm going to keep cooking it, and then basically when I think it's ready, we're just going to drain off the water. The lid on the jet boil system comes with a bit of a strainer, so I can literally just
Nice.
It's got this nice little insulating sleeve on the outside.
So you can hold it.
And of
And then the
course,
spoon.
and then of course I've got a dirty backpacker spoon because that's what we use.
That's so cute.
So that's that. That's gonna be our cook
I
system.
like that.
Me too.
I like that. That's a great gadget.
Me too. It's nice and light.
Gadget girl.
Okay.
Shout out to Uncle Dave. We're both gadget people.
All
Both
right.
Daves, for that matter.
One of my coworkers, Danoana, sent me with a cigar for a notable time. I'm thinking when I get to Fontana Dam, sitting out at the Fontana Hilton, looking out over Fontana Lake, that would be a perfect time to have this. But
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. And that, of course, goes into the pack.
That's a worthwhile ounce.
Yeah, that's worth it. Okay,
Good
so
idea.
That's in there.
Cigars maybe make kind of nice gifts. Because people always wonder, what can I bring Aaron that'll take with you? Well, we've got a nice car, so hey, 10 high. 10 high, folks. We'll take 10 high anytime. It's a whiskey in a plastic bottle. Now accepting donations.
Okay, so like I said, I'm rolling old school with a Camelback. Seems like everybody is using these 1 liter bottles that they're sticking on their shoulder straps. I haven't tried that. Maybe there's a lot of advantages to it. I know it works for me, so I'm going with what works for me. A good old Camelback. I'm able to vary the amount of water that I have in it. So if I have to go a long distance, then I'm gonna go ahead and top this thing off. If I'm gonna go a long distance, but I know I've got 9 springs along the way, then I'm just gonna go with whatever I need and fill up along the way.
How much I think about that fills? How much fills?
What is this? It's the Unbottle 100, and
Like a liter?
no, it's got to be more than a liter because a liter would be here. I think this is a 2 or a 3 liter. Things I should know, but
That's okay. That is a new thing, right?
What?
This Camelback. You bought a new one.
No, I've had these laying around for a while. This thing might be from the 90s for all that I know. But I've been using it so far on this trip, and it's working out fine. I like it because it's got a little mouthpiece protector. I basically clip it on in right to my sternum strap, and my water's always here whenever I need it. I don't have to think about it. So that's.
And does it go in the very back of the backpack?
Yeah, there's
Like a special slot?
So remember, this backpack predates water carriers, but of course, it's got a pouch back here that's just about perfect for it. And of course, I got to smash that down a little bit, but it does what I need it to do.
But before you go, you're going to fill it with water.
Yeah, that gets completely filled with water. But before
just
I fill,
opening the blue hole.
Yep.
Yeah.
But before I fill it with water, I'm going to take a look at the trail that I'm going on to see where water sources are at. And I gave it a quick glimpse. It looks like I've got water sources pretty much for the next day. So there, I'm going to go with less water in the Camelback and just be ready to filter. Take a break at a place that has a nice spring or a water source. Get my water. It's better to just pump it right into your mouth while you're there. Be the camel. Drink water at the source. That way you have to carry less. What else? Okay, so this is another pack cover. It's the older style.
Not taking it?
Not taking that one. We've already got the other one that's in there. I've got my toiletry bag, so this is basically odds and ends. I know I'm not a ultralight guy because I actually left the handle on my toothbrush. Maybe when I find a saw, I'll just cut that thing off. But various medications, tapes, tweezers.
What's the tape for?
If I need to tape up a toe or something. So here, just wrap the tips of these things so they don't go poking through things. Brought a scalpel, I guess, because I'm going to do surgery on the trail.
You never know when you need to do an emergency, Craig.
Exactly. And then the long lost stickers that we've been looking for paramedic problems.
Yay. Benadryl, because it's always good to have, even for others.
Yep. So,
I mean, everybody, you should carry Benadryl in your car. You never know when someone's having an allergy. And
yeah, so I did bump into 2 people that were attacked by bees the other day. So I do have 5 Benadryls with me just in case. And maybe, I have some type of reaction to my socks or my laundry detergent. You just want to get something to knock down that histamine. We've got, of course, Imodium because bad stomach things happen. I've got some Dayquil and NyQuil, which can help with body pains. And I also have ephedrine. So Jenny and I have both been running with sort of a sinus infection, bronchitis. So we're a little bit wheezy and not feeling great. This has, good beta-2 characteristics, so it helps open things up. And then that just goes laying in on the top.
shout out to all you medics that just passed your exam.
Exactly.
Great
else?
job.
Oh, we got to talk about poop
Ethan
system.
and Anna and Hannah.
So poop system, always carry a trowel. I guess they've got some newer fangled metal ones or something like that. Orange ones have always just worked for us. And then the one thing that we're trying out this time is ultra bougie, is a portable bidet. So this is my luxury item because staying clean down there keeps infections away and keeps everybody happy. So haven't used this thing yet. That's why I'm just touching the hell out of it. But we'll have to wait and see what this thing actually works like. Stay tuned for more.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for introducing us to the wonders of a bidet in your house. With a warm seat. It's magnificent.
So I've got that. That goes on the outside. And what else? Of course, headlamp. And headlamp always goes at the very top, so it's easily accessible even during the day.
So that's critical even if you don't think you're hiking at night ever.
Yes, always have a hat and always have a headlamp with you. That way you're ready to go.
There was this great moment where I'm waiting for him on the swinging bridge and it's pitch dark, so I have the car on and I have the lights on illuminating the path so he can see it. So I decide he's super tired and I know he has no water because he texted me, so I'm gonna go walk forward 100 yards because I see where he is on the map and I'm gonna bring him water. Me, idiot, I think the lights are gonna stay on in my car, but they're just running on the battery. So I get 100 yards away, the lights turn off, I have no headlamp, it's pitch black, and it basically takes me 20 minutes to find the car again. It's like the blackest. I couldn't see a hand in front of my face. And I needed the headlamp even though I was just stepping 2 seconds out of the car and I thought I had all the wonders of a car full of junk. I needed that headlamp so badly and I didn't have it.
Yep. Yeah, and even when you're using them, if you don't need them, you just let it hang around your neck, kind of like a big weird necklace. But at least it's there, so when you need it, it's there. Boots. We've gone through 3 sets of boots already. First pair was a set of Solomons, which were more trail runners, and those were good boots, but they tore up the bottom of my feet. Next, I moved over to the Garmin's. These are really good, but kind of what's happening here is my toes are slamming the end of this. I've gone ahead and tightened them up. Essentially what I believe and what I'm gambling on right now is that this is happening when I'm going downhill. So your foot naturally wants to go to the front of the boot. But usually we've got a braking force, which is our heel. And I've been a little bit sore on my heels, and then the other part is that I haven't been carrying much weight. So part of that is that I'm not getting enough downward force in my heel to be able to give me good braking, and that's allowing my toes to go to the front of these things. So my operating theory today is that since I have a heavier backpack, I'm going to have more downward force, I'm going to have better braking action with my heel, and my toes shouldn't be slamming into the front of the boots. If I'm wrong, it's going to be a painful 3 days. It's just the way that it is. I experienced the same thing with all of the other shoes that I was trying on the Solomons, hitting my toes, on my Merrells that I tried yesterday, hitting my toes, and those were all with no weight whatsoever. So either I'm really bad at sizing these things, but I did have them professionally sized, or I've got some type of weight distribution issue. So we're gonna find out the hard way today.
And you can't change shoes, right? Like you can't afford to carry a separate pair.
No,
It's not worth it.
Not on this leg.
Yep.
Nope. So
Too much up and down.
exactly.
It's actually a huge upward climb today.
Yep. So we're gonna go with the Garmins, and then you know, I've got these OR low gaiters. These things are great. Keeps all the dirt and mud, everything from entering the top of your boots. So these are an absolute necessity. If you pan down, you'll see my socks of choice, which are these Injinji toe socks. I traditionally have foot issues, so I'm very sensitive to foot issues, guys. Wrapping each toe in wool, I think, is a great idea. Yes, I still get blisters, but they're not as severe as they used to be. So that's that. And I think that's pretty much the loadout here, Jenny.
What about this stuff? Anything else?
So I'm taking my cell phone, I'm taking my wireless speakers, I got some toilet paper for emergencies, I've got some
Advil.
Advil. I should probably load up on a little more Advil just in case. I've been trying not to use these, but sometimes you just have to. And I think that's about it.
Looking good.
Okay, let's get down to it, Jenny.
All right.
But that sleeping bag was pretty nice, wasn't it?
That was nice.
Not too claustrophobic.
No, the tent was nice too.
All right.
So you've got a winter hat at the top, rain jacket on the side. You've got a ball cap. You said you're gonna weigh
We're gonna weigh the backpack right before we go.
that thing.
Just doing my finals.
He's drinking water at the source. He's kind of binge drinking right now.
I've got about 1 liter in my Camelback, which makes me happy. I took a look at the map. We got plenty of water sources along the way.
So you don't want to be overly weighed down. You want water, but you don't want like 6 liters.
Yep, and we're gonna drink at the source.
When I come back, we'll do more slacking for you.
Oh yeah, baby, that was so nice. Almost hit that 4 mile per hour mark yesterday.
Yeah, when you're not carrying anything, it makes a big difference. Even when you're going straight uphill as you were.
Alright. So this is called a load snugger strap.
Sort of pulls it closer to your back.
That's exactly what it does. And this is the one that you wrench down pretty tightly on. This is old school Dana Design fashion. And then that takes care of that.
It looks like a really nice pack, actually.
It is, I mean,
It's really not
things fun.
huge for everything you need either, by any means.
Alright, so just basic strategy. When I'm out there, the t-shirt that I'm wearing is going to be completely soaked in sweat. So when I stop, I want to be able to have a layer that I can put on top and keep myself warm.
Do you take off the soaked shirt before you put on?
Nope. That's one of the nice part about the breathable fabrics is that I can put on a dry jacket over the top of a wet shirt and it'll dry out the wet shirt.
I didn't know that.
That's why we use breathable stuff. Okay.
Breathable like what? A cotton?
Ooh, definitely not cotton. Cotton kills out here, Jenny.
Okay.
But
Breathable like what? My cotton undies?
no, it's a bad way of doing things. Okay, so there's that. We're gonna do our weigh in. Everybody's always very weight conscious these days. All right. So tear 0. We're at 30.8 pounds, fully loaded, 5 days of food, 1 liter of water, and everything that I could ever possibly need.
I just believe you. I didn't get a good video of that, but 30 pounds.
Yep, I'm okay with that.
Is that what you were going for?
Of course, you always want it a little bit lighter, but think of that. I mean, it's 5 days of food, fuel, cook set. I mean,
sleep
system, fully loaded, even with electronics and everything
water.
else. So
yeah.
30 pounds, I'm really happy with.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So we've got these cute little chairs that we've been using. We like them. Homeful. Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna take a shoe. He likes having shoes after, just to kick around in and take those shoes off. It's very important. Yeah, shout out to this Homeful camping chair. It's like super comfortable, one of the more comfortable chairs that I have sat in, and it folds up really small, fits into just that small little pack right there. So it's great for the car. Obviously can't backpack with it, but we have a relatively small car. I got a Kia Sportage and Sportage. I'm about to drive the tail of the dragon in the Corolla Skyway. Pumped about that, but I first have to get through the crazy road of 1 hour of up and down just to go 10 miles and try not to get a flat or any other damage. I'm sure it'll be fine. Aaron's going to be on standby until I get past these first really big ruts. Just within the first, 5 minutes, let's say. Then when I give him the all clear, I'm going to actually leave first because I'm really worried about the ruts in case I were to get a flat tire or something. And then he will be on his way. Do you want to show us how you put it on? And like how you cinch it down, or do you want to not do that right now?
Let's not worry about that right now. Let's get you underway.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about that anymore.
We'll show them that another time. How you feeling? Good. I really do like this campsite though. If you do the Benton Mackay and especially if you're walking, right? You don't have someone supporting you. It's almost better in that case because this road is really hazardous. But Aaron says this half mile, while it's straight up, you can tell where the path is. And it's a really nice bald mountain. No water access, but it's got a little campfire. And it truly is beautiful at night. It looks like you're in the middle of nowhere, and in some sense you are, but at night right down here, there were some lights from distant city. It almost looked like we were in an airplane. You know that feeling when you're landing in a plane and you see the twinkling lights below? It's just so nice. So even though there was no moon, I recall, it was a lot lighter because there was some distant. I just need a little bit of light to show just how spacious the world is, and then it takes away a lot of my claustrophobic problems. I have claustrophobia, so I got a different tent. It's a tent I can almost stand up in. Last night was our first night using it, and you saw a picture of it before, and it was a much better night. It was really nice and cold and clear. It didn't rain, so we didn't put the rain cover on. But it was indeed a good tent for me and from a claustrophobic point of view. And yeah. Aaron's getting ready. I'm gonna jet out.